but if you're super overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, these are some great starting points for you. The 5 things that you need to consider when hiring. And the first one is that you need to consider hiring the ideal team player. And I'm going to take your first point here from
Yeah.
you,
No, great.
Blake, because the thing that we talk about often, you'll hear us say these words often, is humble, hungry, and smart. That's from a book by Brad Lomenick. Brad Lomenick was with Catalyst Leader for many, many years, and he wrote this amazing book, and it's become kind of like this leadership manual for what we're looking for in people, and not only what we're looking for in others, but what we're looking for in ourselves. And so when we say the ideal team player, what you need to consider is hiring the ideal team player. You'd probably be like, well, no, duh. Obviously, I want the ideal team player. I don't want to get someone who's not ideal. I don't want to waste time doing that. I want the ideal. So who is the ideal team player? It's simple. The ideal team player is somebody who's hungry, somebody who's humble, and somebody who's smart. I'm not going to rehash that whole book for you here. Highly suggest you go get that Humble, Hungry, Smart by Brad Lomenick. What else? Go ahead.
But there's also a second book by Patrick Lencioni called The Ideal Team Player. And
look at that.
He talks about hungry, humble, smart.
How do you say his last name? How do you say Patrick's last name?
Lencioni.
Is that the right way, or you just feel like you've convinced yourself that's the right way to say it?
Oh, I've convinced myself, but it is the right way.
I've heard like 18 different ways to pronounce that guy's last name. So I just go Patrick, and then I mumble through the last name. Patrick Lencioni.
That sounds right. That sounds right. But anyway, I do want, like, obviously the hungry makes sense. The humble doesn't mean not cocky at all. I think it just means not entitled.
You gotta have confidence,
right? You got to have some kind of element there. Smart does not reference intelligence. I think that's important. It's EQ, emotional intelligence. Okay. It's, do they understand how to work with people? That's the big part. And so I agree. Let's not give any more on that one away. Go read both of those books. I'm going to be reading the Brad Lomenick, which I don't know why I didn't question your pronunciation on that one.
Because I listened to him host the Catalyst Leadership podcast for like a decade, and he would always start to be like, I'm your host, Brad Lomenick. And I'm like, oh, that's how you say it. Does Patrick have a podcast? Does he introduce himself?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. The guy's written like 30 books.
Yeah. I'm not going to pause here and go figure it out, because it's better content if we just get it wrong over and over again.